I'm so glad we have MAPA. Do you know about MAPA?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you teach there too?
No, I don't, but I love MAPA. I have my own private dance studio. So.
You have a private dance studio?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What got you started in belly dancing? What inspired
Well,
you?
I started dancing when I was 10 years old, and I started in Sweden. That's where I'm from. So I was doing a lot of classical training, jazz, ballet, hip hop, tap, modern. And then when I got to Maui in 2006, I was really tired of the classical formal training and I wanted to try fun things. So I tried salsa, African, and belly dance. And when I found belly dance, it was like, oh, this suits me. This is really for me. And it just took off. You know, it seems to be the most in demand. It's sort of like similar to hula because it's exotic, but it's really convenient because you don't need a big stage and you can move around the tables. You can stand in a corner. You know, it's
true.
Very flexible.
I bet you've got great costumes.
Yeah, and it's super fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very liberating. It's really good for moving energy through the body.
Right.
Really good workout, and it just makes you feel really good. No matter what mood I'm in, I always feel great after I belly dance.
Wow.
And she makes her own costumes.
Do you really?
They're awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Wow.
It's a lot of work, so sometimes I just end up buying them, but, you know, it's fun to make. I'm very craftsy, too. I like doing jewelry and, you know, and I paint also. I'm just a multi-talented artist, and that's what I live for, is being creative and being inspired.
Right.
If I'm not feeling inspired, I'm just not happy.
Yeah. I feel the same way, Isa.
Yeah.
If I don't have a creative project going, I get depressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And other people don't. Other people are happy not to have to do any of that. But it kind of drives me, and it also gets me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, it's my emotional outlet. If I'm going through a hard time, that's how I process my emotions. You know, you just feel it.
Yeah.
Go into the emotion and feel it and let it out.
It's interesting with the belly dancing because when I've tried it a couple times, just that subtle little hip movement, it's brought up emotion. I start crying and having this emotional release from doing, 10 minutes of belly dancing.
Well, you know, a lot of us hold, especially women, a lot of tension and trauma in our hips and our chests because it's so taboo in our society to move those areas. So it's really good for releasing all that emotion that we hold in these areas. And it's really natural for women to move that way, but we're suppressed in our society. In other cultures, it's natural, but not in our Western society.
Well, in India, when I was in a Gurdwara in India, I got chastised for moving in the Gurdwara. The women are not supposed to move, like you can't move to the music.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And men, too, for that matter. You know, the hips.
It gets too sexual.
Yes.
That's too feminine to move the hips.
It's too feminine.
But it's healthy.
Now, most belly
Just like
dancers...
Kundalini yoga, right? It's like it's moving the spine. It actually sends healing fluid to your injuries in your body. And it's like for anxiety and depression especially. Like we have so many people on meds. I find that belly dance helps more than anything.
Now, a lot of belly dancers that I've seen have big bellies. You don't have a big belly. You got a little tiny belly.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about belly dance. It embraces all body types.
Yeah. Why haven't you explored hula since you love to do all these different things?
I feel like hula is for the natives of Hawaii.
Do you?
Yeah, I let that be their dance.
Ah, that's a nice way to hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love the movement of it. I'm not very good at it, but I can follow. And every time I do, something shifts in me. I elevate out of my body and into a different world. Just with the hand movements and the mudras and all of that. I teach at the MAC as well. I teach for Can-Do days.
Oh, the Can-Do. That's
for the kids. So I teach dance and music over there, and we have the Ha breath theme right now. So it's a lot of Hawaiian themes.
Breath.
Yeah, Ha breath. Yeah.
Great.
It's really fun.
That is good.
And it's so important to bring the arts into the schools. They don't have enough budget for that these days, and it's so necessary for kids to express themselves.
It is. So tell me how that works. Every kid in the public school system actually spends a Can-Do day once a month?
They come once a year, so it's like a field trip for the schools.
Once a year for the different grades, but all the grades come.
Yeah, and they tried dance, drama, visual arts, and music. A whole day of just the arts.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I would love
and it's a grant-funded program. It's been around for 20 years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a little speck on the wall and see the kids.
I'd like to be part of that.
Yeah.
They're so cute. I teach first and second grade. They're just adorable.
You do. You can pick the grade you want. Yeah. So what would you say, Isa, has been the gutsiest thing you've ever done? You've done so much now. You are a Renaissance woman. And what has taken the most nerve, the most courage?
Jeez. That's a big question. I I really enjoyed performing at the Art Mix years ago. That was a huge stage, and that was a highlight, I felt.
Was that scary?
It wasn't scary. I felt really at home on the stage, and ever since I was a kid, I wanted to perform at the MAC. So it was a dream come true, and having that huge audience.
Yes.
It was in 2014. I highlighted it in Bohemian Feminique. That was the theme.
Nice.
And also building my dance studio has taken a lot of guts, because it's a huge investment, you know. It's like you can't fail.
Exactly.
I just kept telling myself failure is not an option.
Yeah,
you know, because you got to invest and just keep going. There's no turning back, and just give it your all.
You're how old, Isa?
30.
You're 30? You're just 30, and she's got this flourishing business?
Yeah.
That's great. Where did that gene come from? Was that your parents, or were they performers and entertainers?
My mother is a musician. My father is a musician as well.
Okay, there you
Her
go.
mom is a great singer.
My mom is very driven.
Sal Godinez says.
My mom tried for 20 years to get a record deal, and she finally did. She just kept pushing and pushing. It's out in theaters now, yeah?
Yeah.
And even in Kiev.
Yeah.
The new theaters open.
Yeah.
You're just too busy entrepreneuring.
I know. I don't have time to watch movies.
Right around the corner from you.
I know.
But that's because you love it so much.
I do. I follow my passion, but I'm learning to plan days off.
Yeah. And I heard you say you get in the beach, get to the ocean.
Yes,
every
my morning routine is going to the beach, and it's really good for stress management and just makes life not feel so overwhelming.
Well, just to connect with Mother Maui, connect with the ocean. I feel
And that's
like
why
I'm
we
in
live
the
here.
Arms of my mother when I'm in the ocean.
Yeah, I used to work in an office in a warehouse 40 hours a week.
No wonder
the only
you feel
time,
liberated.
I was like, what am I doing? I live in Hawaii. I could live anywhere. And then, the only time you got to see the sun was on your lunch break or the weekends.
Right. How did you choose Maui?
My parents brought me here when I was 5, so it's like my home. I spent half my life here, and then I went back to Sweden when I was 10, and then came back here when I was 18.
Yeah. So you got it in your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I met my husband 2 weeks after I got to Maui and let go of my return ticket that I had a year later.
Whoa.
So I've been here ever since.
And with your husband, right? Yeah. What
Yeah.
about babies?
No babies.
No babies. No. Like my friend Aurora says, childless by choice.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Childless by choice.
Well, that's something
I'm
that
too
I
creative
knew.
for that. I don't have time for babies.
Something that I knew I wanted to do, have kids. You know.
You knew, you didn't know? or you
I
did?
knew
You knew
I
you-
wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
You know? And so a lot of my young life was, well, I'll do that. I'll take that cruise job if I'm not having a baby, you know, if I'm not pregnant, you know, because
Exactly.
I knew that I wanted to have kids.
Yeah. And you had two very musical
Awesome,
kids.
musical, talented,
America
amazing mother and daughters.
And yes.
Yeah.
I love you performing with them.
Oh,
which
thank
is
you.
So cool.
It's a delight.
Yeah. Hi, America, if you're listening to this. I love seeing you, two of you, over at the, what's the hotel you sing at?
Well, we did the
Andas.
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 Yeah.
The
I sing at the Andas too.
You do
She's at
too?
the Andas.
Yeah.
When do you sing? I'm going to come hear
Sundays, 5:30 to 8:30.
She works with
Really?
Scott,
With Scott
who
Baird,
America
yeah.
works with sometimes.
Oh,
the
that's
Crazy
really
Fingers.
Yeah,
guy.
we're going to be there on
Scott Baird.
Halloween too.
you. You are? Oh,
Nice.
thanks to Lily Townsend, who started the Ministry of Fun many years ago and has ordained thousands of people as ministers of fun. And the message is, if it's not fun, don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you have to do it, make
Make
it
it
fun.
fun.
Make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Louise Hay was good at getting me
Yeah.
in that headspace.
Life is too short to do things you hate. That's why I quit my office job. I'm like, how much longer am I going to be doing
exactly.
this? And I have too
Good
much
for you.
passion
Good for
to
you.
be. I could be there until I retired if I wanted to, and that thought terrified me more than anything. I had to get out.
I have to ask you, Isa, are you doing well financially? Because a lot of times entrepreneurial women love what they do, but
I do well.
yeah?
Yeah.
Good, honey. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I've always struggled a little around money and doing my thing, but I've never done anybody else's thing. So I've been proud of myself for that.
No, I definitely believe that if you focus on money and you love money, you attract it. Mm-hmm. And that's always been my thing. I always loved money. Even as a kid, I would like counting it and holding it, and I would put it in piles like Scrooge. Like if you focus on it and really love it, you're going to attract it.
For me, it was Monopoly.
I'm a money magnet.
Yeah.
I did a money course once in California. Really, this has happened. You lay on a bed, and I think you have your clothes on, although I can't remember. And you lay out dollar bills and $10 bills and $50 bills on the body. and then you do a meditation. And
Law of attraction.
And you treat money like your lover.
Yeah.
You know.
And be grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude really does attract abundance.
Does.
Keep a gratitude journal. Write down the best 3 things that happened during the day. Read it the next day. Just focus on the positives.
So good.
I used to save receipts when I was a kid and pretend it was money.
All right.
I'd collect them.
Yeah.
My dad would give me his receipts.
Exactly. My favorite was playing store and selling goodies. You know, we'd get some dollars from mom, you know, and we'd play with it.
Yeah,
So-
I was quite the entrepreneur. I would walk up to people on the beach and have like a pile of sand in my hand and be like, "You want to buy a sand cake?" Or I'd make like little boxes of air, I call them, and sell them for like 75 cents. Do you want to buy a box of air?
Or you could go collect the water samples from different places. You know, it's a little bluer here, it's a little greener there.
I was always
Water
like,
for sale.
yeah, I was like, what can I sell?
Ocean water.
Well, I love that book written years ago called "Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Pull an angel card.
Okay.
Because it's a way to dive deep with one another, and not to plan anything.
Yeah, I met with Doreen Virtue, and she gave me a mini psychic reading and told me that she saw me teaching dance to kids at the MAC, and then
All right.
I magically got that job at the MAC. So she's
amazing.
right on. She didn't even know me. It was a 5-minute just brief
She's a
reading.
great woman. Yeah, she used to live here, and now she's on the Big Island. I wonder how they survived the lava.
Yeah, we had friends who were displaced.
Yeah, wow. God
They
bless
can't
them
get
all.
to their home. Their home is still there, but they can't get to it, and the fumes are so bad.
Okay, now Louise is picking a card of Doreen Virtues. Lisa's picking a card from Doreen. And there's a little booklet here we can raise, or we can actually read what it is, unless you have an intuitive knowing on what the card
Should
means
we read
to
it?
you. Yes, read yours.
I got Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation.
Wow, that's a pretty good write-up
Nice.
of you. Did that resonate?
Yeah.
What didn't resonate?
It just feels like where I'm at right now. Becoming more independent and really figuring out what my focus is and having that drive and belief in myself.
Exactly. So, Isa, what is your vision for yourself, darling? You're 30 now. Where will you be at, let's just say, just for fun, 60?
At 60, oh my God. I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to figure out like exactly what it is that I want to focus on,
Do you see
because I
yourself
do.
on Maui still? Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
mean, I do so many different things and I'm so passionate about all of it, but it's like when you do so many different things, you can't go for one thing full out.
It's
So
true. It's true.
I'm trying to just like prioritize what is my favorite thing to do and, just figure that part out. But I'm very happy with my life right now. And a part of me likes doing a lot of different things too, because I get bored easily.
Yeah. You know what? I think you are a 7 on the Enneagram. Have you ever studied the Enneagram?
Yeah, I have.
Don't you feel like
What
you
is
might be
the
a
7?
7? I'm a 7. A lot of people on Maui are 7s because they like doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
They like to have fun.
Yeah.
They love the variety of it.
Yeah.
And they also call 7s the dance away lover. So that if you're not happy where you are, you just kind of move on out.
Yeah.
Move on up or something.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, a lot of the Enneagram numbers do.
Uh-huh. Well, you're kind of all of them. It's just
Yeah.
what is your primary, they call it a
Yeah.
fixation.
Yeah.
But they also say, and 7s don't always complete things.
I definitely complete things.
You do. Okay, good.
I am a perfectionist, though, so
Right, so you
it takes a long time for me to make decisions, and I weigh the pros and cons back and forth to
So
try
that
to
means
make the
that's
perfect.
a 9 quality.
Yeah.
And the perfectionist is a 1 on the Enneagram. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I end up not making a decision at all because I don't know what's the best decision to make. So
Yeah.
my work is just going for it.
Yeah, interesting. It
Pick-
helps to
pick
know
one.
that because then you can understand yourself better. Like, well, that's why I react the way I do,
Yeah.
rather than beating yourself up,
Yeah,
getting your
and-
naglies going.
And for me, it's all about balance in my life. My career is not my number one priority. I like having a balance of relationships and self-care and having a healthy lifestyle, a healthy diet, and having, time off, which I'm trying to learn how to fit that in.
Taking time to do radio shows.
Yeah, recreational stuff. And,
I'm so
and
glad you could
especially my
make time
marriage
for
is
this.
important to me too.
Yeah, good,
so.
honey. I want to talk a little about you do Pilates. And how can
Yes.
people find you?
I have a website, isainca.com, ISAINCA, and I teach Pilates on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. Then I teach belly dance Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. And you can try the first class for free.
Oh, that's great.
Pilates is really wonderful for helping with back pain. It's core strengthening. It's good for sciatica. It improves digestion. It eases anxiety and depression. improves coordination and alignment and creates neural pathways in the brain, among other
Sign me
things.
up.
It really sculpts your body like perfectly. Like
really good abs. The only thing I do for my abs is Pilates and belly dance.
Oh, good.
And a really clean diet, of course, is super important.
I'm so happy to get to know you. And Louise, I love you.
And also, I host new moon and full moon women's circles.
Okay, then.
Every new moon and every full moon. It's part of a global network called Global Sisterhood.
Good.
And it's just donations. So I'm just into creating a community, especially for women. And just connecting. There's something really special about connecting with women.
There is.
And empowering each other.
For me about connecting.
Yeah, it nurtures me on such a deep level.
Thank you for connecting with me today, Louise Lambert and Isa Inca. I'm Amora St. John. You've been listening to Gutsy Women Radio.